Welcome everyone to this eighth day of Words of Wisdom series. And today's topic is building web apps with Firebase. And our speaker is Vrijraj Singh. And he is the Google developer expert in web and Firebase. So today's session will be conducted by him. So over to you, sir.
Yeah. Can we have a slide? Yeah. So hi everyone. Thank you Code Warrior team for having me. My name is Vrijraj and I'm Google developer expert for web technology and Firebase. And also I lead GDG Jalandhar community in Punjab region. And also I'm working on PWA, Firebase, AMP, Chrome, and Google Cloud Platform. And I have a YouTube channel Tech Ferment. So in this session, I'm going to talk about how we can build web application with the help of Firebase. So before going to talk about Firebase, we're going to go through the web fundamentals like website, browsers, and server, and then we'll go for the Firebase for web, and then last we have a demo part. So like I hope you all know like website is a collections of web pages, and each website have their specific URL, which is called as uh, domain. So each web pages can be considered consists of pictures, music file, audio file, or it may be HTML code. And you can see the example like google.com or Facebook, LinkedIn. There are a lot of websites. And then we need a browser for running a website or a web pages. So browser is a kind of software which is allows you to user to locate and access and display the web pages. In the market, we have a lot of browsers, and each browser has their specific rendering engine. So, for example, if I talk about Google Chrome, there's a rendering engine Blink, and then we have a for JavaScript specific, we have a Chrome V8 engine. So similarly for Mozilla, we have SpiderMonkey and WebKit and so many. And the third one is server. Like I can build my web page with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and I can run my web pages with the help of browser. Now my web pages should be accessible to n number of locations over the internet. So I need a server where I can upload my website. I can serve the data from through the internet. So server is a kind of is a software or a server is a computer where you can upload your data, and server will serve the data to the browser. So in the market we have web server, email server, and the file server. So we use file server for serving of web pages. Sorry, we have web server. We use web server for serving of web pages like index.html or maybe home.html. So there is a specific protocol we are using, HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And the second, we are using email server. So email server we are using for serving a mail over the internet, like sending or receiving a mail. So we have a protocol like SMTP and POP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, and Post Office Protocol. And the third, we are using file server for serving a file, maybe it may be uploading or downloading a file over the internet. So in file server, we are using FTP protocol. And if I talk about web server in the market, we have Nginx, Apache, Microsoft IIS server. So most probably you are working on Node, then you have to work on Nginx. Or if you are working on PHP, you have to work on Apache. So this is a simple concept like we can build an application with the help of these core fundamental web component. Like we can design a website with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then we can run our web pages on the browsers, and then we can serve a website through the server. But like sometimes you could have an idea and you wanted to build a solutions, and then somehow decided to stack, and you are confused, like little bit confused about the stack, what to select and how to start. It may be mobile applications, or you can select a web solution, anything. But somehow you decided the stack and you decided the design process, the architecture and all, and then you decide you have to write a lot of codes in terms of managing the infrastructure and all. But there might be an issue related to security, code implementation, managing a database, or it may be related to your web solution should be accessible to all the users and all the devices. So there is a unified solutions you can use to solve this problem. So that's why Firebase came into the picture. So what is a Firebase? So Firebase is a developer platform where that provide developers with set lot of tools and services to help them to build high scalability and high quality of applications. Even you can grow your user base with the help of Firebase, and you can earn more benefits in terms of user. One of the best thing about Firebase, you don't need to manage the infrastructure. Firebase will take care all of it. Like if you are a front end developer, you just need to focus on the front end side. Like you just need to focus on the front end side application. It may be Android applications, it may be web solution, or anything if you're working on game platform. Firebase providing a lot of services. You just need to use that services and all. So that's why Firebase is a mission to help the developers succeed. One of the best thing about Firebase, like you can use Firebase for a number of platforms. Like if you are working on mobile platform, you can use it like iOS, Flutter, or Android. And then if you are working on already web solutions, you can use it Firebase for web. And the second last, you can go for the C++. Easily you can integrate the Firebase and you can use it Firebase. And the last, if you are working on game development platform like Unity and all, you can use it Firebase. So Firebase, as I told you, Firebase is providing a lot of services and tools. You can use it. So Firebase divided into three main categories of tools and which have their specific goals. So first one is build better applications. So it build better applications means it helps you to build better application by making complex coding process easier. Like you don't need to manage the infrastructure. They are providing a lot of services in terms of authentications, hosting, cloud functions, machine learning, database, storage, and extension. They are providing that services. You just need to focus on the quality part. And second, improve your app quality. So you can also improve your app quality by catching issues early and fixing them quickly. So you can use crash analytics, performance monitoring, test labs, and apps distribution. And the last, you can go for grow and user engage your user. So you can grow and engage your user by understanding how other people are using your applications. It may be Android, web, or any solutions, and you can engage them in meaningful way. For example, you can engage the users with by sending a push notification to the users like we have an update about this applications. So you can trigger the push notification with the help of Firebase Cloud Messaging. So as you can see, there are almost 25 plus services within a Firebase. So now I'm going to show you how we can use we as a web developer can use Firebase. So as a web developer, you can use Firebase authentications, which is basically auth service. And second, you can use as a database. So in Firebase, we have a Cloud Firestore, Firebase real-time database, or you can use Firebase as a storage where you can upload your, uh, maybe it can be a video file, audio file, anything. And also you can use Firebase hosting for host your website or a web pages, and you can write your own business logic with the help of cloud functions. And there is a Firebase extension, cloud messaging, and dynamic links. So first is Firebase Firebase authentications. So what is a Firebase authentications? So authentication is just as a service, like most of the users, you need to authenticate the user in your web applications or maybe mobile solution. So you need to use auth service in your application. You can use GitHub or you can create your auth or on auth service. But Firebase is providing a auth service. You can easily integrate that auth service in your applications. It may be a web solution or Android or iOS. So you can easily integrate, and this is like Firebase authentication is providing flexible UI. You can easily do that. And Firebase authentication works with n number of third-party identity services provider. Like you can easily integrate with, like I can do like Firebase auth with Facebook, Firebase app with Google, Twitter, GitHub, or my custom Firebase authentication. I can do that. Or you can, support custom email and password solutions, or anonymous password, account linking, and phone number authentication with the help of Firebase authentication. And one of the best thing about Firebase, like once the user is signed in with your services, Firebase assign a record within a system. There is a unique ID for Firebase user, so you can use that user ID for authentication and for future purpose. So this is a simple example. This is the example for creating a user in your system. So there is a method create user with email and password. So in JavaScript, we can create a variable like email and password. And then we are using Firebase. So Firebase authentication, we have a method uh, create user with email and password. Inside, I can pass a parameter like email and password. And this is a JavaScript promises. We can handle it with then and try catch block, and this is it. We can do that. The second one, we can use Firebase as as a database. So in Firebase we are two type of database. Like first one is Firebase uh, Firestore. So Cloud Firestore is a database tools that allows you to user to store data using document collection structure. So it's a NoSQL database. It's a completely truly serverless app. You can build truly some serverless application with the help of uh, cloud storage. And one of the best thing about cloud store Firebase Firestore, that it will automatically scale. Like if the user is too much and data is too much, it will automatically scale. You don't need to manage the infrastructure and all. And and one of the best thing or like cloud Firestore is it works with offline support. When you have a less internet connections, or maybe you are out of the network, you can still access the data from cloud Firestore in locally. So this is a simple example. Like as I told you, cloud Firestore is a NoSQL database, so we can store the data in terms of collections, documents, and data. So collection, where collections could be considered as a like main entity, and inside we can have a multiple documents, and each document can have a multiple fields. So first we can create a database reference inside Firestore. So I have created a database reference like firebase.firestore, and then we need to define a collections. So let's say my collections name is user. Inside can have a multiple users, user one, user two, or user three. So we can add a data with the help of add method, and which add method takes a JavaScript object. So here I have simply defined a JavaScript object with the property like name and email, and that's it. So this is the simplest method for adding a data into Cloud Firestore, and we can use it. And again, this is a promises we can handle it with the help of then and catch block. And while Cloud Firestore is a great solution, but it is not only the solution where you can store your data. So there is another database you can use, Firebase real-time database. It's a simple JSON tree structure to store it and access the data. So it is a lighter weight than Cloud Firestore. It still offers so many advantages such as real-time syncing, offline support, scalability, and many more. So this is an example, like we can create a JavaScript variable, and we can create a JavaScript object. And for adding a data, we can use set method or push method. So now, although Firebase real-time database or Cloud Firestore are a great for storing a primitive data, but sometimes you need to store user-generated data such as images, audio file, text file, or it may be any kind of file extension in your applications through the application. So you can use Firebase storage. So Firebase storage providing a lot of features like it will automatically scale. You don't need to manage the storage services. Like initially the size of the storage is maybe 500 MB, but as the user will increase, it will automatically scale, and and you don't even need to manage the infrastructure and all. So this is a simple example for storage, where I have defined a database storage reference, and then we need to call put as a method where I can pass a Java file. It may be audio, video, anything file, and that's it. And again, so if we are a web developer, we just need we want to host our website or a solution. So we can go for the Firebase hosting. So Firebase hosting is a fully managed hosting service for static as well as dynamic content. You can like deploy your website. It will automatically scale. Just need to like one of the best thing is about Firebase hosting. Uh, you can serve static pages over Firebase hosting, and it will provide free SSL certificate. And this is very fast, secure, uh, and reliable infrastructure. And you can deploy your website with the help of Firebase CLI. Just you need to use Firebase deploy, and that's it. And now, like sometime in your application, you want to run your own code. That's where Firebase Cloud Functions came into picture. So we use Cloud Functions for writing our business logic, for using that services. So it is a powerful tools where you can write your complex logic, such as like when the user is successfully authenticate, you can send a push notification, or you can add a data into cloud Firestore or a real-time database with the help of cloud functions. So you can add your business logic, custom business logic with the help of Firebase cloud functions. You don't need to one of the and again you don't need to manage the server. You have to write a code, and just you need to deploy that code into functions. And again, while cloud functions for a Firebase are incredibly powerful tools, sometimes we just need a solution to a common problem. Luckily, Firebase extension were released. Uh, so Firebase extension are a collections of pre-made and configurable functions to handle common use cases such as uh, uploading image resizer, sending emails, translating text to the different languages and all. So you can find it the list of available Firebase extension to Firebase documentation. And next, Firebase Cloud Messaging, you can use it. So like you have applications, it may be web or mobile application. You can trigger a push notification to the user with the help of Firebase Cloud Messaging. So notification can be sent to the Android, iOS, or web devices, and many to address to the individual devices or a group of devices. You can do that. And last, you can use Firebase dynamic links. Dynamic links are smart URL that allows you to send existing and potential user to any location within your applications. So you can create a certain URL with the help of Firebase dynamic links, and you can get the analytics. And in summary, you can use Firebase for web with these tools like Firebase Authentication. You can use Firebase Authentication to authenticate the user. And if you want to use a database, you can use Firebase real-time database or a storage. Or if you have a media file, you can use Firebase storage. Or if you want to write your business logic, custom business logic, then you can go for Firebase Cloud Functions. And Firebase extension is a pre-made functions that you can use directly in your application. Or if you want to trigger a push notifications, so you can use Firebase Cloud Messaging. And last, for URL shortener, analytics, and all, you can use Firebase dynamic links. So now this is a feeling as a kind of like we can do that lot of things like itna sara. Now we can make a lot of things with the help of Firebase. So yeah, so let's take an example how we utilize these tools within a Firebase or a web. So maybe in your community or can your organizations, you can create a form with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So we'll give you the demo how we can create a simple web applications is a kind of event registration page with the help of Firebase. So simple way, First, you can create a HTML page having a registration field such as name, gender, or anything. You can create it with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then, before submitting a form, you can authenticate the user with Firebase authentication service. Like you can authenticate the user with the help of, like maybe you can use custom authentications or auth with Google and anything. And then if the user if after authentication user can submit the form, here you can use cloud storage as a database. Like I when I successfully authenticate, I need to fill the form, and my form data going to store in cloud Firestore. Once the form successfully submitted, you can trigger a cloud functions. You can trigger a cloud functions to send a confirmation mail like your registration. We got your details. We will share the event details in very soon. This kind of things you can do that. And at last, you can also use Firebase hosting because we have whole entire HTML page. We can deploy that page in with the help of Firebase hosting. So Firebase is a very amazing tool. You can use it. You just don't need to worry about the infrastructure. Firebase is providing a lot of services. So you need to focus on the front end side. Like as a front end developer, you have to work on UI side or a front end development side. Firebase is providing a lot of services. Just need to use that services. Or if I talk about mobile, you can use that as well as. So again, for me, Firebase is just like for you कि like पहले इस्तेमाल करें फिर विश्वास करें. It is really amazing tool. And to know more about Firebase, you can visit the link firebase.google.com. And here are the resources you can go through the Firebase documentation, like Firebase doc. You can go through the Firebase documentation, or there is a code lab. You can go for Firebase for web. And I've written a lot of Medium articles on Firebase. You can visit it. And I'm also creating a uh, videos for Firebase, so you can go for Tech Perment YouTube channel. Uh, and yeah, so thank you so much. So do you have any questions? I'm open for the questions. Okay, so generally, if you want very if your application is very light and if you want your data should be add in the like JSON type of format, then you can go for the real-time database. But I'd recommend you to go for Cloud Functions because in Cloud Functions there are a lot of queries you can use in your application. So that's it from my end. Thank you so much, Code Warrior team, for having me, and thank you so much.
Yeah, so thank you so much, sir,
Yeah.
uh, and for conducting this session and spreading the knowledge about Firebase. And as okay, no question is there. So, student, the quiz link will be given in the chat box. Just attend that quiz for the certificates and please share your feedback. The link will be given in the chat box so we can give that feedback to our speaker also. So, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.